Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome. It's Peg Haust-Arliss, and I am so happy to be with you. The first interview that I hope will be many more to come. I've been wanting to do this for a while now, bring you expert interviews from every topic, from cleaning out your mind clutter to cleaning out your closet clutter. So I hope this is going to be fun. I got two criteria. It's got to be changing your life somehow, improving your life somehow, and it's got to be fun. So my first interview, I'm excited to introduce you to somebody who I've been following for quite a while, even before her married name. You got married, Heather, right? Before I started to, it's been that long, since 2010, I think. So let me read her bio to you. Her name is Heather Nicholds, and she is a registered holistic nutritionist who helps clients energize their lives through simple changes in how they eat. Whether you're seeking healthy weight loss, more energy, or a boost towards balanced nutrition, Heather will introduce you to the positive and powerful impact of a plant-based whole food diet. Through her nutritionally balanced meal plans, cleanses, online cooking classes, I need to take an online cooking class, and nutrition consultations, she can get you on track. She shares her knowledge, enthusiasm, and experience to help you prepare quick, healthy, delicious, and balanced meals that leave you and your family full of vitality. So, Heather, welcome. I'm so happy you're here.
Thank you, Peg. This is so much fun. I love your criteria. I think that should be a criteria for anything in life.
Absolutely.
Somehow improves your life and is fun. I think that hits it.
Absolutely. So I know that there's so much confusion about what to eat, what not to eat. And I had a couple questions for you to start out, and I'm just going to hand you the floor. So
Go for it.
My intention today is to pick your brain and demystify all the confusion out there. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so the first thing I want to know from you is, why did you choose this way of eating? What is your personal story? And then later I want you to talk about some of the most common misconceptions that you have, and let's demystify it.
All right. Sounds like a plan. So my story, I was a university student eating typical, really plain, really cheap, really crappy food. I didn't feel very well, but I didn't realize it. Basically, I just didn't have very much energy. I was getting through the day, but I never really felt energized. And I had a lot of digestion issues. Mm-hmm. Nothing serious. I never had any major health issues aside from allergies. But basically, I just didn't feel very well. So when I started learning more and more about healthy eating, I started down this path of learning more and more about how what you eat can affect how you feel, your energy levels, all that kind of stuff. And when I started improving my diet, slowly at first, I take things very gradually, and I advise all of my clients to do things gradually. There's no need for drastic changes. But when I started gradually improving things, I noticed a really big difference in how I was feeling day to day, my energy levels, and also my outlook. So mental clarity, as well as, respect and compassion for things. I feel like there's this awareness that spreads. And if you start in one area, and for me, I started in how I eat. When you bring that awareness to one area of your life, it tends to just spill over into other areas. And so I started in with eating healthily. And as I started learning more and more about vegetarian and veganism, I started to see how much sense it made. I was already heading in that direction, eating less and less meat, mainly because it was expensive. And I've been allergic to dairy since I was born, but I never made that jump until I learned about the environmental impacts of animal agriculture. That was really the tipping point for me to say 100% I'm vegetarian. And then very shortly after that, I said, you know what? I gotta be vegan because it's all the same. And when you look at it as a whole package, plant foods are the best overall package. You're getting all of the nutrients you need with none of the side effects of pesticides, hormones, stuff like that. Obviously, if you're eating organic, plant foods do have some pesticides if they're not organic, but they're not accumulated like they are in animal fats because plants are lower down on the food chain. They have less levels of pesticide, even if you don't go for organic. So health-wise, plant foods make the best overall package. In terms of animals, obviously, we're not killing animals. We're not exploiting animals as much as possible and practical. And in terms of the environment, that's one of my driving forces in my life is to try to live in a way that is sustainable for our planet. So veganism hits all three of those for me. Plus, I feel fantastic. So when I see all of those things coming together, for me, it's just a no-brainer. There's no other choice. It all fits together, and it works for me. So what I do is I try to show people how it can work for them. If they want to make this choice, I don't push my ideals on other people, but I'm here as a resource, as a support to show you how to make this as easy and effortless as possible.
That's right. Oh, that's awesome. So what are the most common misconceptions you hear?
Well, protein is probably the number one. People often think, vegan foods, you're not going to get protein because you're not eating meat, you're not eating dairy or cheese or whatever people think of as a protein food.
Yes.
But the truth is there's protein in everything. There's protein in rice. There's protein in quinoa. There's protein in chickpeas. There's protein in broccoli. It's in everything.
Yeah.
We do have to plan our meals to make sure that we get the right variety of foods, but everybody has to do that, to be honest.
Everybody has.
It's not just
right. Yeah.
So I think when you're thinking about healthiness, then it crosses all of the ways of eating, and vegans are actually probably more conscious of their health levels.
Yeah.
So protein is probably the number one. Other myths, well, protein combining is another myth, that people think that they need to eat rice and beans in the same meal in order to get complete proteins.
Yes.
And
no, you don't need to do that, huh? No.
All right. No, you don't need to do that. You do need to eat, well, you don't need to eat rice, but you need to eat whole grains and beans because they do have different levels of proteins, different amino acids, but you don't need to eat them in the same meal. As long as they're within 48 hours, your body knows what to do with them.
Okay, you bring up rice. So what about that? What about carbs? People hate carbs. They don't want to do carbs.
People hate carbs, and I don't know why. Carbohydrates are your body's source of energy. So if you're not eating carbs, you're not getting energy.
And so that's why people are on high protein diets, right? That's why they feel so tired.
Yeah, absolutely. Your body metabolizes food in a very specific way, and it's looking for a certain ratio of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. If we throw off that ratio, we're going to have waste products in some way, and that's going to slow our bodies down. So if you are cutting back too much on carbohydrates, not only are you not getting the energy that your body and your brain need to function, you're throwing off your metabolism and creating waste products that your body then has to eliminate in some way. And all of that takes up energy. So there's no need to be scared of carbohydrates. You just need to choose the right ones. And the right ones are whole grains, beans, and fruits. So natural, whole foods with lots of fiber that can offset the blood sugar spikes, which is what causes problems with carbohydrates, is when they are refined carbohydrates.
Okay. So we covered protein. We covered carbs. What else?
Fats, maybe? We're going on the macronutrient train. Fats, they are either wonderful or a villain. For a long time, people were told to eat low fat or no fat. People with heart disease are told not to eat saturated fats. So it's hard to know where to fall on that. And this isn't really specifically a vegan myth, but I think it's a nutrition myth that is pervasive. And when people shift to vegan, they see a lot of nuts and seeds and they're worried and they're confused. If I eat too many of them, is that bad? So whole foods are always great: nuts, seeds, avocados, and And then I usually tell people to stick with the whole foods mostly. And then if you use oils, use them sparingly. And if you shift to a whole foods plant-based diet, you're naturally going to see the level of fat in your diet go to a more reasonable range, which is about 20 to 30% of your calories. So I could go on a whole tangent on this, but fat is not evil. You just have to choose the right sources. It's like carbohydrates, same thing. They don't cause problems in and of themselves. Your body needs them to function.
Yes.
You just need to choose the right sources.
Right. And can you tell us a couple examples of how you've helped someone? Where were they starting in their point A? And what was their point B like? That's the terminology I use with my clients. I always say, okay, what's your point A? And what do you want with your point B? How do we know we're done? So those are the successes, right? That's where we're successful. So do you have a couple of examples you can share?
Oh gosh, it's hard to narrow down. I guess based on what we've been talking about so far,
Yeah.
I have a lot of clients who have come to me for meal planning. And we may have done one-on-one consultations, but a lot of the work that they've done has been in meal planning. So I provide online meal plan programs for people that show them exactly what to eat and when to eat it and how to put together balanced meals. And I've had quite a few people who have come to me with high cholesterol, like triglycerides, and their doctor is on the verge of putting them on heart medication, and they come and they don't want to go on the medication, so they're trying desperately for that last tactic that's going to help them get back in control. And they see a drastic change within 4 weeks sometimes is all it takes. And I have to be very clear here that as a nutritionist, I don't heal health issues. I give your body what it needs to heal itself. And your body is this extraordinary, powerful machine that can do amazing things if you give it the right nutrients and if you get out of the way and let it do what it was designed to do.
Yes. So I wanted to stop because I wanted you to reiterate that, really bring that point home, but you did. That's really important. I think people really need to hear that.
Yeah. So yeah, heart disease. I've also seen a lot of weight loss in people who come and they just need to get back in touch with what their body's telling them, because when we eat processed foods and junk foods, it interferes with those signals that go to our brains and tell us how much to eat and when to eat. So you can see that when you get in craving cycles with chips or cookies or chocolate. And if you can interrupt that cycle, I call it a pattern interrupt, you can reset and get back in touch with what your body is actually saying. So I've seen some pretty dramatic examples of weight loss. I have one client who lost 100 pounds and is now this yoga-obsessed maniac. That's what he calls himself. He started training to be a yoga teacher, and he meditates and he feels amazing. He says, I now drink green smoothies and I like them.
I know, right? Isn't that awesome? Because I don't know what I would do without my green smoothies, but in the beginning, that's really important too. In the beginning, it's weird. In the beginning, your taste buds are off, and you have to get used to a new, different way of tasting and smelling. And by the way, your smell might come back, and all these little things that you don't even know happen to you. And I've learned that from personal experience. I used to have drinking milk. I used to have to go all the time. Through my whole childhood, I was always clearing my throat. And then when I stopped drinking milk, I said one day, I don't do that anymore. I noticed it one day. It's like, oh my God, it must be because I stopped drinking milk. Weird. But
yeah, I had a similar thing, and I'm not quite sure what it was from, but I had that similar throat issue that's gone away. Yeah, dairy is one of those common ones that people don't often realize how many symptoms it causes. I've seen people have acne that has dramatically cleared up just by taking out dairy.
yes.
So you never know.
Yeah, dairy. And is there another one that has such drastic results? I know dairy is like the top one for me.
Dairy is one of the top allergens. Processed soy is another one. I'm not talking about tofu or tempeh or edamame beans. Those are kind of more natural forms, but there's a lot of soy in foods, and it's like
vegan junk foods, right?
vegan junk foods, and also a lot of other processed foods. They use soy protein isolate in a lot of different things, and they process soy down kind of the way they do corn. Corn is another major allergen, and corn is in so many things, you know, with the high fructose corn syrup. So sometimes you can't always know exactly what it is, but as you eliminate those processed foods that include ingredients that are so heavily concentrated and refined, a lot of symptoms tend to clear up on their own. Again, it's your body doing what it was designed to do naturally.
Exactly. And so just by doing this very slowly, with a process, right, you're going to see things like clear skin and weight coming off and allergy symptoms, maybe. Whatever your issue is, you might start to see that changing. Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Energy is another one. It's hard to quantify, but I have a lot of clients who found a major difference in their energy levels.
And sleep.
Sleep, yeah.
Big complaint. I hear my clients complain, myself too. You know, I'm going through the menopause and I got the sleep issues, and you know, and sleep is such a problem for so many people.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, as you improve your energy levels through your day, it actually improves your sleep because you're in a more normal pattern, where I find a lot of people wind up in this kind of drifting where they feel tired all through the day and then they don't sleep properly.
Right. And I know a lot of people who are surviving on coffee or caffeine all day, and then, you know, doing something at night to calm them down. So that's such a cycle, right?
Yeah. Caffeine is another one of those pattern interrupts where if the caffeine is combined with stress and sugar, it can really affect your adrenal glands and put you in this downward spiral that's impossible to get out of unless you take a really targeted and holistic approach to get out of that cycle. And when you do, you can see some pretty dramatic improvement.
So one more question based on that. I haven't been following your time, but we could probably talk forever. But
I think we could.
Yes. What about moderation? You know, talking about coffee and alcohol and, you know, vegan junk food. What are your thoughts on, you know, being a perfect eater? Because I know some of my listeners are going to be like, I don't want to eat good all the time. I want to have a glass of wine. I want to have coffee. What is your perspective on that? And I'm one of those, by the way. I like a cup of coffee, black and organic, in the morning, and where it used to be a whole pot with lots of creamer. So I think that's pretty good for me. And I like a glass of organic wine now and again. So I don't know how you feel about that. What are your thoughts?
Well, you'll be happy to hear that I am very much about balance, not perfection. I think that perfection can take its toll in terms of stress, not only, you know, in terms of feeling like you're being a goody-goody, but it actually stresses out your body, which is not healthy. If you're thinking about that all the time, you can take it too far. It can interfere with your social life, your interaction with other people. Yes. So I'm not a perfectionist. What I think is there are certain cases. So if I look at adrenal fatigue, that's where I was talking specifically about caffeine mixed with sugar, mixed with stress creates adrenal fatigue. And in that kind of situation, it's important to take 4 to 6 weeks to really target that issue and correct it. But after that, hopefully you should be able to have a more moderate approach. And in general, when you're healthy and you're in balance, your body can handle a lot of what we throw at it. So your body is designed to handle stress. Your body is designed to handle toxins that come in naturally through the air, through your skin, through the normal process of metabolism. Your body's creating toxins. So I'm not one of those people that tries to be uber clean and fasts every month. I eat chocolate. I had some chocolate this afternoon. I will definitely have a glass of wine with my friends on weekends, and I do occasionally drink coffee now. I went through an experiment where I have a lot of clients who drink coffee, and they were asking me for advice on how to get off it. And not having ever been a coffee drinker, I felt like it was my duty to do an experiment and see how it was for a week. And I found that I actually really like the flavor. So I do have an occasional coffee now and then. And yeah, I don't think there's any harm when you are healthy and balanced overall. So it's just in those cases where you have an imbalance that you're needing to correct, and it's a very specific thing. So caffeine for adrenal fatigue, but caffeine doesn't affect some of your other systems. So say you had a cardiovascular imbalance, caffeine wouldn't really be something that I would be concerned about eliminating. So yeah, balance, not perfection.
Thank you. Thank you. That's awesome. So, what else? Let's see. I would love for you to come back and have another conversation about, there's so many things we can talk about, right? I would love you.
I know, right?
I know. I would love you to come back, and I would love to talk to you about specifically food and mood. Would you like to do that?
Yeah, that would be very interesting.
Yeah, because that's my wheelhouse, right? And I'm a holistic therapist, but I'm a therapist first, and then I started to get into the health coaching. But food and mood is really what I would really like to talk to you about next time.
Absolutely. We can get into more detail about caffeine.
Oh, yes. Food, right? So, Heather, is there anything that you want to close with? Do you have anything going on right now? Any cooking classes?
I'm not running any cooking classes at the moment, but people can sign up on my website anytime. What I have going on right now, and I'm not sure when we're going to be posting this video, but I'm going to be a presenter in a symposium, an online symposium about diabetes, and I'm going to be sharing a session on vegan meal planning that won't spike your blood sugar.
Awesome. Awesome. And where can people find you? What's your website?
My website is my name, heathernichols.com, and I'm sure I will post a link with this.
Put a link there, and thank you so much. I've been looking forward to this, and I'm so happy you've been my first interview.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so happy that we made this work today, and I'm honored to be your first interview.
Thank you. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed yourself, and if you like this, I need feedback. Like me on Facebook, and I'm going to share this everywhere I can. I'm still learning the technology stuff, so I'll get there. But it'll be fun to look back on this first one and see how far we've come, right? Hey, so
I do that too. I look back on my first interviews and think, oh, wow, that was so sweet. And
so have a great weekend, everybody. Or if you're watching this during the week, have a great work week, and we'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye, Heather.
Bye.